Ladies and gentlemen, there is lightning about 1 to 2 miles away. Seek shelter until the lightning goes over, and we will commence the drifting. Ladies and gentlemen, there is lightning about 1 to 2 miles away. Take some shelter. We are delayed for the competition until that clears by.
It's highly recommended to hide your kids, hide your wife, get somewhere that's safe, and then as soon as the lightning passes, we'll get right to business.
We'll let you know. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lightning within 1 mile. I recommend you guys take shelter, and we'll let you guys know when we are about to go live on the track. There's a bar over there if you want to have a refreshing beer. Drivers and teams, start getting ready. We are about to start shortly.
All right, drivers and teams, get ready to start heading towards your vehicles and getting ready to stage. We're going to be starting momentarily, so please head back to your pits, head back to your cars, and prepare to begin the competition.
Drivers and teams, get ready. That back bumper on that wall all the way through, going to this big inner clip, a little bit shallow going in there. Duarte is just letting all the smoke out there, being a straight class act as a driver out here. Duarte, oh mercy.
Well, it's definitely safe to say that the track is dry. I feel smoked like a brisket over here. Absolute smoke show coming from Duarte coming around the bank.
It also helps that Duarte has a special guest as a spotter. But now we're gonna have our second lap of this battle. Duarte will be chasing. His special guest spotter is Chelsea Denova, man.
Oh, that is absolutely awesome. Yeah, I saw Chelsea walking around the pits earlier. Absolute gangster when it comes to drifting. Glad to see him out here supporting another driver in Pro-Am.
Oh, yeah.
Watching a lot of his content lately. I don't know. I never thought I'd think it'd be really cool to have like a Porsche drift car. Now I'm like, I want one.
It's awesome to see that kind of thing. And he's very approachable. I've seen him in the pits and other drivers. He's talking to them, having a good time. But the thing I love watching with Chelsea, it looks like John Windam is going to be taking his 5 minute. So we're going to have John Windam take a 5 minute call to get his car set up. And if you aren't familiar with drifting, yet again, a 5 minute call is like a 5 minute timeout so they could fix whatever needs to be fixed, get them on the track so they could do the second lap of this track. Next battle, we have Henry Pavone and Leo Alvarado. It's cool that what we were saying before with Chelsea Denova coming out here, be very relatable, having a conversation. But when I saw him after, the one thing I saw that was cool, when it came to work after the drivers meeting, the first thing that was happening, he was talking to Duarte, say, "Hey, this is what we got to do." I didn't go through listen to the game plan, but I knew he was here for business.
Well, and aside from just being a special guest, having an FD driver be your spotter, one of the big important qualities that you want to have in a spotter is someone who is good at communication, good at explaining to you what is good information for you as a driver to use and hopefully transfer onto the racetrack. So, obviously with his experience, he's very good at explaining things, and that is half the battle. If you're going to use a spotter, you get the most out of one if it's someone that can really look after what you're doing on track and give you qualitative feedback.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're talking about these not new drivers, but we've seen them last year. Christian Control coming out here, and he recruited a VDC driver. He's also a prospect spotter. So he's like, hey, I want to win this year. So I'm actually interested on that dynamic of team. And the cool thing, too, is another one of that team members from the AOM is on another team. So they're competing against each other. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, we're seeing every day more and more of that translation when it comes to the sim world and sim racing, and now it's really cool here because it's actually getting a lot of fans in touch with real drivers. I know we've seen online in Discord.
Yep.
Any given day you can see Jeff Jones out there. You can
Yeah.
see other drivers just mingling with everyone on a Assetto Corsa. So very cool.
And Jeff Jones is a wild one, too. But now we have Henry Pavone and Leo Alvarado. Henry Pavone is in GR86?
Yeah, he's gotten really comfortable in that chassis. It's a newer car for him. Leo has been very comfortable driving that Corvette for a long time, but Henry has really adapted quickly to the FRS. So
Yes.
both capable cars. I think that Henry's car might have a little bit of an advantage on grip, but I'm excited to see this one because these are both guys who are their style is pretty consistent. So as long as these guys have spent enough time attending events, these guys have probably tandemed together in the past,
Yes.
and it should help both of them get a read on each other.
And it's going to be crazy to see. It's two Corvette engines in two different chassis. And you got this small car going out here with that Corvette engine is going to be wild. And we are having the stream up. So, hello, world. So we had a rain delay, but we have Henry Pavone coming up here first and going in to that first initiation, going nice and spicy all the way into that midline, all the way through that power alley. Now diving into the pocket of that inner clip, but missing it just slightly. Going to outer zone 2 is very hard to see if he actually get it. Oh, contact with the wall. Oh, no. Looks like possibly a debeated tire.
Oh, absolutely catastrophic to see, especially since, this is not how you want your day to go early on. We're very early on in the day. This is just a seating bracket competition, but hopefully whatever's going on with the car after that impact is something that can be, repairable in time to, get back out there for a second run, but that does look like it was a pretty rough hit.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate for that driver, but we're going to see how the pit crew is going to get situated, try to get him back on the track.
Now, if you are just now joining us on the stream, Hello and welcome to round 1 of U.S. Drift Circuit Formula Drift Pro-Am. Well, this has been a really complicated day for us. We've had some weather delays. We're also having some connection delays. But we are at Citrus County Speedway in Inverness, Florida. And we're doing a good job at getting the event running. We're back on our feet. The stream is likely going to have some more complications. But in the meantime, as long as you guys can stick around with us, welcome to round 1, brought to you by Autosports Engineering, Drift HQ, Kenda Tires, OMP Racing, Link ECU, Taxi Garage, and KBD. So a lot of familiar faces joining us again on the sponsors. And right now, if you are just joining us also, as we've mentioned, we're in our seating bracket. We've had a couple of runs already take place. We'll get you caught up on the bracket right now. So far, we have seen...
So we're going to have these guys coming through this bracket. We had Luis Braz going on, and he's actually winning against, not winning, he's going to be battling against Willie Espinosa. We also had pretty much he has to bow out of the competition on the right side of the bracket to go against Colette Davis.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Now we got it up. So, yeah, Daniel Pereira went against Luis Braz. Luis Braz moved on. Duarte Vienna went against John Windam. They did one run, and then John Windam took his 5 minutes to go and work on his car to get it ready for the second run. So we'll see them back out on track. And then, of course, just now we saw Henry Pavin and Leo Alvarado go out there. And unfortunately, on the first run with Henry leading, he made contact on the wall. So we're cleaning up the track right now. I know that we just had a little taste of action if the stream kicked in by the time we got to the end of that run. But he's loading up on the flatbed now, and we should be back up. So in the meantime, we can talk about this track a little bit because the live stream hasn't been here. Everyone else has been here all day. Everyone that's in person has had their chance to see cars go through this on practice. You know, some of us were here last night watching the cars go around and get a chance at night to get a taste of the track.
Yes.
So, you know, why don't you walk us through kind of what the spectators at home are going to see out of this track? What are we looking at?
You're looking at a track that's slightly bigger than if you ever seen Wall Speedway back in 2009, 2010. But we have a oval track, and the first outer zone is on the bank, kind of similar to what you see in OSW. But then they get off the bank, and then go to this small little power alley to transition into this inner clip, and they finish off with 3 more outer zones. The biggest choke point we're going to see is going into that inner clip from coming out of that alley, but the judges have done a good job on using some indicators, visual indicators for these drivers so they could actually know when to pivot their car or when to actually attack a corner.
And when it comes to comparing it to Wall Speedway, I mean, I have seen videos of this track before. This is my first time being here in person. It does look a lot smaller than it does online. I know that doesn't really help the spectators that much, but just to let you know, I mean, when you're watching these cars come around here in person, it is a pretty tight track. So that intersection of the track where, you know, they have to come around an inner clip and then shoot back out again, it is quite a bit of a choke point. There's not a lot of track to use, and you really do have to use every inch of it to get in there and actually touch and go correctly.
Yeah, it's especially with these cars that they're trying to get prepared to go into the pro spec round. We're actually going to see one of the pro spec drivers, Louis Lance, that won last year, compete in this round, trying to get some seat time with the car. I believe he's using his demo car, but he's just trying to get a little bit dialed in, get some seat time before he goes to English Town. And then we have our judges, too. Our 3 judges out here. It was announced on the Instagram. We have Rad Dan as a special guest.
Oh, yeah, we've got to go through our judges.
Yeah,
go ahead,
man.
take us through it.
We got Kelsey Rollins, is a pro spec driver for Formula Drift. Very excellent on how she's very analytical on every zone and how they want the drivers to attack it. You got Rad Dan just being a hero over here because we had some wasp over here, and he just used a Gatorade bottle and just adopted the Florida content and the Florida persona. And then we have Noel over here, has been a U.S. Drift Circuit judge as well, and he's very, very forward on what he wants to see, especially what I've seen in the drivers' meeting. All right, we have waiting for our track to clear, get set up. But then we have some other drivers out here that we are used to seeing at the U.S. Drift Circuit. We have Ryan Acevedo with that pretty infamous incident in OSW of him becoming a space ranger with Louis Lantz, and that was insane to watch. Here we go. Looks like there's going to be a buy run coming in here. We'll let his Corvette speak for itself.
There you go. That was Acevedo with his buy run. So Henry was unfortunately unable to make it to the line. There was just too much damage from his impact with the wall. So he's going to be moving on in the seating bracket.
Yeah, Alvarado unfortunately didn't really get a battle, but he's able to move on in the seating bracket. We have Matt Schulman and Carlos Santos. But it looks like Willie Espinosa is actually ready, and so is Luis Braz. So we're going to revisit the top left side of this bracket. Willie Espinosa coming out here with a new motor. He was struggling in a little bit of last round. Now we have Luis Braz. We saw how he was performing out here with that previous battle. Here we go. Willie Espinosa. Luis Braz. Willie Espinosa coming into that first outer wall. Riding out of the wall, filling out the whole zone. Going into this nice little alley, but being really spicy. Trying to get into that inner clip, but misses it. Going to outer zone 2, filling it out. All the way to outer zone 3, getting close to that wall, to that final outer zone. Very great lap from Willie Espinosa.
That was an excellent battle right there. Oh, my goodness. Luis Braz doing a great job just all over the back of Willie Espinosa all the way around the track. I mean, granted, he did just do a run. We just saw him moments ago. He had to do a separate run against Daniel Perrier to solidify his starting spot in the main seating bracket. So, well, Willie's going to definitely have to turn it up a notch on his follow run and get really close on the door here.
Yeah, and Willie Espinosa is the owner of King's Performance, the title sponsor on his car. Very, very down-to-earth guy. I've seen some of his podcasts. I'm very interested on how he's going to perform in this season. He was having a lot of troubles last season. How he is going to actually attack each round is something that I'm going to be really paying attention to for the story of these drivers.
Yeah, for fans walking around the pits, I mean, it's no wonder his car is just such a popular one in the pit area. It's a beautiful car, built so well.
Here we go. Willie Espinosa in the chase. Luis Braz in the lead. Waiting for the lights. Luis Braz coming in with that BMW. Coming in with a nice initiation. Going into that first outer zone. Filling it out. Willie Espinosa scraping his bumper on that outer wall. And then coming into the pocket. Right into this inner clip. Luis Braz is filling out that inner clip. A little bit shallow, though, going into that outer zone 2 and 3. But Willie Espinosa is doing a great job being a fighting force in the chase.
I mean, that was excellent. You can hear the judges having a lot to talk about right now. And, the theme of these events always when you go into them is to try and just never leave it in the judges' hands. A lot of drivers come out here, and it's very unfortunate when there is a call that's made that the judges and the drivers are in disagreement over. But as the driver, that's why even this early on, when it's just a seating bracket, our new format for qualifying, you just really don't want to take any chance. You need to treat every single run like the rest of the competition depends on it, because realistically it does. If you get knocked out, then and especially if it's over a controversial call,
Yep.
it's usually not a satisfying feeling going back home. So everyone, you got to lay it all out and never leave it something where the judges have to deliberate too long. You want it to be obvious who the winner is.
Judges are deliberating, seeing who is going to be moving on. Judges are deliberating over looking at the drone camera. Well, while the judges are looking over their notes and trying to figure out who are you excited to see compete today?
You know, I try not to pick favorites too much, but I'm really just a sucker for familiar faces. I like that we've had U.S. Drift Circuit as a Pro-Am series running for a few years now, so now we have a lot of return faces. Sasha Prospero is out here. We have Louis Lunds, who, like you said earlier, you know, he's already won, and he's still back here just kind of mixing up the competition. And Ryan Acevedo, I mean, we've got a lot of people who were contenders in the points in previous seasons, and they're coming after it now to try and just solidify their name further up in the bracket and on the podium.
And we're waiting. Seems like the judges made their decision on who's moving on. But it looks like we're seeing the second lap of the Duarte and John Windam battle.
All right, and then we got the answer from the judges. That previous run, your winner was Louis Braz.
Okay.
Louis Braz moving on.
Louis Braz is moving on. We are getting ready for our next half of the battle.
So we've got a lot of information flowing up here. That's kind of why, you know, we have a couple moments here where we're just kind of listening. We're not saying too much. We're getting started right now. There's a lot that we're trying to make sure as far as, you know, what's coming up next and just how we're staying organized here. So a couple points to talk about as far as what the real difficulties are on this track. We already talked about the fact that it is a small track, but obviously they're coming right up against this first wall, and some of them are already very comfortable. We were lucky enough to have an extra practice session that started last night.
Yep.
So a lot of these guys have now gotten really comfortable. If they missed that session, you know, it's really crucial for a track that's brand new. And now we're finally returning to this other run here. So again, this is the run that was supposed to be between Duarte Vienna and John Windam, and then they had to take a 5-minute break. So originally we saw Duarte lead, and he had a really strong lead run, and it looks like at some point there must have been mechanical issues for John Windam. But he's able to pull up to the line. The car sounds great. So now hopefully we're about to see something special come out of him.
Yeah, John Windam and then the red BMW. You have Duarte in that green, neon green BMW. We were talking earlier how Chelsea Donofa is spotting for him, so he's probably letting him know you need to stick it to his door or telling him what he needs to do to win. John Windam in the lead. Coming in here with a nice initiation going into that first outer zone, but here comes Duarte striking fire right to the door of John Windam. going into his inner clip. John Windam does a fantastic job. Here comes Duarte trying to reel him in the proximity all the way through, holding an angle. John Windam misses that third outer zone, but dives into fourth outer zone as well. Duarte out here just shredding tires and taking names.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in that run, a little bit of chaos, but I think what the judges are going to have to remember, you know, is of course, that was a previous run we already did, and I do believe in that previous run there was a pretty major mistake that came from John Windam. So we obviously saw some mistakes there from Duarte, but we're going to have to see, obviously, how the judges are going to weigh that. Duarte's had this car for a while now. I mean, this thing is just an absolute machine. I mean, he's driven with this car at local tracks. He's gotten a good feel for everything. It's the only one that, you know, he hasn't been able to bring it to multiple times, but the car is just so dialed in. He's had it for long enough. It takes very little for him to go ahead and get locked in.
And I'm looking for the judge's decision. It looks like looking at the bracket over here. As we're getting ready for our next battle.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft
Duarte
We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also
so it looks like as a result of that first run, I mean, John Windam made a big mistake, or not, I don't want to call it a mistake if it was just a mechanical issue, but obviously, you know, there was pretty much a run-ending event that occurred on the first run, and that, and with Duarte Vienna, I mean, even with a couple mistakes here and there on the chase run, if it's a straighten, if it's a, you know, complete correction like that, that's a 0. So, so he's going to be moving on. I'm excited about that. Again, this is just a seeding bracket, so I think we're going to get to see plenty of action from both of those drivers later down the road.
All right, and then we have Mitchell Rohr, not Michael, and Louis Lance. Mitchell Rohr and Louis Lance out here. And we were talking about Duarte's car. It's actually not the BMW that we saw at Fuel Fest. It's actually one of his older builds. So I was talking to him earlier, and he was saying that he wasn't expecting to put this in the comp scene, but he wanted to get a car out here and shred some tires with us.
Next, Matt Schulman and Carlos Santos. Carlos Santos is going to lead. Matt Schulman giving chase.
Carlos Santos and Matt Schulman coming out here. Matt Schulman coming out here and being an absolute terror all the way through. And then diving in into his inner clip, filling it at midline. As Carlos Santos is getting to the outer zone too and trying to keep that proximity all the way through. These drivers are out here. A little over rotation from the driver, Santos. Santos is is pretty new on the scene in the U.S. Drift Circuit, man.
And I did say that wrong. Matt Schulman was the one leading that run in the Black S13. So very aggressive coming around. We're obviously seeing right there, we were just talking about how there's a little bit of that trouble in the infield on the rotation, and that's a perfect example. It's even more difficult for the chase driver because you're trying to also do this. I mean, there's not a lot of muscle memory you can have from just being here either today or just from last night. So, but both drivers playing it aggressive. There was a shutdown right where that last clip is for Carlos Santos, so the judges will have to take a look at that, just make sure it was, he stopped where the shutoff point is. He might, hopefully he didn't shut off the car too soon.
Yep. Carlos Santos, when I walked in the pits earlier today, he gave me a big old hug. He's like, I watched U.S. Drift Circuit last year. I was just happy to meet you. He also did the same with you. Excited. And seeing a fan go on to this platform is actually really cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, the level of competition seems to get more serious each year. A lot of the drivers are showing up to this, and they're seeing how built the other cars are, how much seat time a lot of the other drivers have. And we've even talked to people from out of state who are interested in joining the series now. And I welcome it, especially since we got more tracks part of it. So now we're getting back to the track. Carlos Santos leading, Matt Schulman giving chase. Coming up around the line, we're looking for close proximity. He's going to make good use of this outside zone. He doesn't use all of the track, but he's still able to get it done on this transition. But Matt Schulman right behind, just trying to keep the proximity as he gets back on throttle. We see them coming up towards the wall. One more transition. And there we go, both of them trying to maintain the proximity, doing a good job, trying to reel each other back in. Could have seen a little bit more proximity out of both of them, but both of them, I mean, at the same time, well done getting back out here. We're still also dealing with probably just a little bit of variability in the conditions out here, too. It was drizzling. I mean, there's still plenty of tire smoke. But the whole day, these guys have been practicing. It has been a hot Florida summer day. It's been, easily in the 90s earlier today. And then as the rain came, the track got cooler. It was a little bit wet, but now obviously I think it's dropped about 20 degrees. So the cars are going to have to adapt a little bit. And you kind of see some of the drivers getting caught a little bit with having more grip than they've had earlier in the day.
Yeah, we saw on the lead of Matt Schulman. It saw a little bobble on it, but you got a decision from the judges?
Yeah, so it looks like Matt Schulman gets the win. Matt Schulman moving on to the next round of competition. And I can definitely understand. I mean, he did a great job getting around the bank. He stayed really high. He was making aggressive plays to stay on the door. So yeah, Matt Schulman moving on, and a very familiar face. We've seen him at plenty of events.
All right. Now we have our driving over here is Louis Lance. He's going to be going up against Mitchell Rohr. Mitchell Rohr is coming out here in that BMW. Louis Lance is in that demo car. Zek Nova title sponsor. Mitchell is out here. He's going to be battling against a prospect driver, the champion from last year. It's going to be exciting. He might get some nerves when going up to this line.
Yeah, I mean, there's no real test better than just going against the champion from last season. So this is definitely going to be a good introduction to this season for Michael Rohr, who gets to come out here and Mitchell Rohr. Got to get that correct. And he's he's out here with HH Staffing, family company. They staff people all over. They're local in Florida, but they staff people from all over. Do a lot of property management staffing. So here he goes. He gets the lead against Louis Lund first. Let's see what he's going to do as he fades up to the wall. We want to see close proximity. He gets in there. Louis Lund, though, not wasting any time on formalities, getting really close to the door. As they dive down, they got to use all the track to pivot through here. He does a good job tucking it in for that inside clip. Back on the throttle to try and shoot out to the outside wall. A little bit of space there, and a little bit of contact as well. A little tough to translate that from the angle we saw it at, but ultimately it does look like Mitchell was just a little bit too shy of the amount of momentum needed to shoot out to that wall. And Louis Lund, of course, in the chase position, looking to surge in every opportunity also requires to anticipate where your lead car is going to end up or where the momentum is going to take it. So looks like it just might have been a accidental check up there, accidental choke up in the lead position. But we'll have to just see. The judges have a lot more at their disposal than what we do. So to put that in context, just so you know, we have FLYDAY Drones out here. He's been with us for years now, helping us with the U.S. Drift Circuit. He's got the drone flying around the track, delivering that bird's eye view and overhead footage. And the judges have a copy of that becomes immediately available to them to fast forward and rewind and just look through try and make a clean call here. So so having just one perspective should not be the downfall of any bad call here.
Yeah, and it looked like Mitchell Rohr just looped it a little bit, actually a lot of it, on outer zone 3. And just probably a little boop from Louis Lance. So it looks like he's going back onto the line. He's always a trooper. And seeing his first battle in FD, and now he is out here doing local events, I'm excited to see it. I'm about it. Mitchell Rohr is going to be in the chase. Louis Lance in the lead, waiting for the lights. And here we go.
There you go, Louis Lance off the line, working through that chicane. Here he goes, first, second, third as he clicks back up into the wall. A little bit of left foot brake, a big gap to be closed right here. Louis Lance just a little bit too much runway to get away. He takes a little bit of an inside line to try and get caught up. And right there, I think we're just seeing a little bit of a scramble there from Mitchell to pull it together. And Louis Lance just very comfortable as he makes his way around.
Oh, what a show off! That's Louis Lance, baby.
Yeah, Louis Lance, I mean, he's gotten himself really comfortable in that car. At the end of the day, he also just recently was driving that car around Drift HQ, the headquarters there. And, I mean, he's just made himself one with that car. So he's done a great job there. You know, Mitchell Rohr coming out here, trying to make what he can of this track. And then, unfortunately, I think it was just a little bit of chaos trying to hold it together and make the decisions needed to get up there. And it's really difficult on a track like this. You got a big, open, fast outside zone. And if you don't start really close to your competitor, it's very difficult to clean it up. You'd only have until the end of that one corner because the next one is very tedious and very technical as well. So there's a lot of technical driving you've got to do if you start behind right off of the entry.
Yeah, and seeing how he has been on that Zek Novas, I think he was trying to show off for the brand, going all the way up, back up the bank. And it looks like Louis Lance gets the win and moves on. Mitchell Rohr, unfortunately, gets knocked out in that battle.
I mean, well deserved. Louis Lance came out here, you know, and he's just seems like he's out there playing, and I really like that he's out here again. You know, some people don't, they believe Pro-Am is supposed to be something sacred for people to compete only if they're really chasing after the license, and I'm definitely one of those who disagrees. I think that it's a very good idea for Louis Lance to stay in the series, for other people who are really skilled drivers and just hobbyists of the sport to come in and participate, because ultimately Pro-Am is supposed to prepare you for what's next. And right after this, if you win this series, you're going into Pro 2, and you've got to be ready for even more competitive and fierce competitors to go against.
Yeah, and now we have Andreas Messner versus Alex, the Dr. Puig. Here he goes. Pandemonium S-chassis in the back. You have this Infinity coming out here being rowdy and loud and obnoxious on one. Giving a mid-line, going to this alley to dive in. It looks like ooh, huge bobble, and he needs to shut it down possibly. Going into a lot of banging and a lot of smoke going on right there. Couldn't see anything happening.
That was absolute madness. A lot to unpack there. We definitely don't have the replay thing that the judges has. It looks like, obviously, I mean, the Infinity getting an awesome start. I mean, we've got full throttle, open throttle, Messner coming around the bank, and then diving in, it looks like Alex Puig may have gotten a little aggressive on that transition. I couldn't tell for sure, but it looked like there might have been a little bit of contact just through the transition that might have sent Messner off. It looks like he was trying to recover coming around the inside clip, and then from there, out of just raw enthusiasm or anger, or just frustration, it seems like Messner was just ready to bang off the throttle to finish up the lap. So the judges definitely have to go ahead and look at that. If there's contact, they'll have to consider who could be at fault there. But what a way to start the lap, though, coming out swinging all the way against the wall, full throttle, massive amount of smoke.
I literally, we saw him go around outer zone 1, going into the alley. I saw him straighten up a little bit. Didn't know, like you said before, we didn't know if there was contact, and it was just straight smoke afterwards. But now we're going to have Alex Puig, Pandemonium in the lead, and Emanuel in the chase.
And Alex Puig, if you've been watching U.S. Drift Circuit, definitely a familiar face. He and his dad have been coming out to plenty of U.S. Drift Circuit events, not just the Pro-Am, but even just the fun days. They've been a part of the South Florida drifting community for years. And even since, I mean, he was a younger kid, man, just out here always driving. And he stayed true to the same chassis. So as he's been upgrading his car, he has been getting more comfortable with it. And we've seen some really clean runs from him today. Let's see if we can put one together right now. Alex Puig initiating, could be a little bit closer on the wall. He's taking kind of a midline as he works his way around. Shooting towards that outside clip. He's at least able to get it back on the line, it looks like right here. Pivoting around, looking to see him get all the way up to the outside. And he's definitely leaving some meat on the bone there as far as proximity goes to the clip.
We have Alex Puig just straight shredding tires going all the way up. And I said Julio Emanuel before, but it's actually Andreas Messner in the Infinity. What do you
All right,
think?
it looks like we have Alex Puig being given the win. Alex Puig moving on to the next round of the seeding bracket. So it looks like the judges had to take a look at whatever happened on that previous run. They must have made a decision about whatever incident it was that took place. And ultimately, that was a pretty big fault. If you have to assess blame on that, then you don't need the best run next. It doesn't have to be something super aggressive. It just needs to be a clean run. So Alex Puig, he left some meat on the bone on the clips on that second run, but he really probably just needed to put together a clean enough run, and the fault would take care of the rest.
Now we have Colette Davis in the lead and Juliano Emanuel in the chase. Colette Davis, I had an opportunity to talk to her today. Called her the Zebra Stripe Corvette last year, and she remembered that, which was pretty cool. But she's actually going to be competing the whole series if the car holds up, and I'm excited to see her growth go throughout the whole rounds, especially with different tracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's very cool to see because we got to see her come out to a couple different U.S. Drift Circuit events last year just to be feelers and test it out. She was getting used to the Corvette. We definitely saw some things just kind of connecting for her with that car last few times we've seen her out. So looks like she's been pretty comfortable. Let's see, a huge gap right off the start. Colette running away with it in initiation, doing a good job getting up there on the wall, staying pretty close as she makes her way around. We just got to make sure she's going to use the rest of the track. She buckles down on this inside clip, does a great job rotating her car and getting it repositioned to launch herself out to that last outer. And there she comes across the line.
Yeah, get it, girl. Straight shredding in the lead. Love seeing that.
Yeah, that was a tall ask for the S13. I mean, there was a big gap to try and close, obviously, with Colette making a lot of tire smoke, keeping a lot of speed in the car, keeping a lot of momentum. It's not an easy task to get around. And in Colette's car, it's got to be the one exception, though, I've got to say. Even though she's making tire smoke, if there is a car you could see through all that tire smoke, it's got to be the bright neon one.
I love it. I love the color scheme. It makes it loud and proud, and she's just happy to be here. She's excited. It doesn't seem like she has like nerves coming into these battles and getting in competition. Seeing different drivers, I think that's what's going to be the kind of nerve-wracking part for her. But we have Colette Davis in the chase. Juliano Emanuel in the lead.
This is where we really get to watch drivers that are becoming more comfortable. Colette Davis's driving ability has been evolving over the years, and in the lead run, she seems very comfortable. I'm excited to see her really lock in on the chase run. We obviously have seen her go to fun events and just go out and drive, but obviously in this setting, all the cars are going to have as much grip as possible. You're going to try to get your car to perform as excellently as possible in competition, and meanwhile, you also need to be the closest to each other than ever before. When you're at your fun days, you can keep drifting fun, you can get out there, but there's not the incentive to stay as close as you do here. So let's see what's going on here.
Oh, looks like that driver, Juliano, is leaking oil.
All right, so we've got the S13 leaking oil. We're going to take a little break there. So Colette and him will be right back out.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so Juliano Emanuel is coming back out after he can get that worked out. Hopefully the oil leak is something that you can fix really quickly if it's just something like some sealant or something that's loose. So We'll take a look, and Colette's just going to sit there and stage, and her car is there for the looking.
It's kind of like ice in the kicker.
Yeah, she's got definitely. I'd say if there's something such a thing as something you can't miss. You know, when someone gives you like instructions, they're just like, oh yeah, and you're gonna go past this building and then make a left. You can't miss.
Whether you're building a dedicated track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture top quality billet performance parts that cater to a wide variety of applications, from transmission conversions and custom drive shafts to valve covers. We use only the finest materials and advanced technology to produce the most reliable parts out there in order for you to achieve your goals. If you would like to find out more about our products, feel free to reach out to us at autosportsengineering@gmail.com or check out the website at autosportsengineering.com.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
Over there, everybody's locked in and trying to figure out what's going on with the track, but it's so cool. Compared to other tracks we've been to, you got the spotters tower above the bleachers, and everybody's just chilling on a stool over there and having their drinks and just have radios on. I walked through there. It was kind of intimidating because you just saw a bunch of spotters with notebooks.
And we're gonna go ahead and just give the track a little bit of moment, and we're gonna shoot a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment once we are ready for our next battle.
tires we sell. And that's how the technology built into every FLYDAY UHP Max tire goes from podium
What a performance.
to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda tires are designed for your journey.
Whether you're building a dedicated track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture top quality billet performance parts that cater to a wide variety of applications, from transmission conversions and custom drive shafts to valve covers. We use only the finest materials and advanced technology to produce the most reliable parts out there in order for you to achieve your goals. If you would like to find out more about our products, feel free to reach out to us at autosportsengineering@gmail.com or check out the website at autosportsengineering.com.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
All right, we are back, ready to rip. We have Duarte coming out here on the line against Luis Braze. And Duarte out here letting everybody know that just because he's the owner of a really popular brand, he can still shred it up like us.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see this battle. Both these guys have been so comfortable out here on the track today, and I think these are going to be competitors that are going to be aggressive. I mean, most of these guys have been. Like I said, it's a seeding bracket, but you know, this is all a chance to really separate yourself from the rest of the drivers, and it's even something psychological. If you go against someone in the seeding bracket that you don't see later on in the main competition bracket, it's letting them know that, listen, this is what this guy's capable of. He's out there. He's a madman. He's crazy. He's getting on everyone's door. So it's setting a good precedent, I think. And so in a moment here, we should have a little bit of time ready to go. And the track is cooling down even more. I mean, earlier today, we looked like we got rained on, and it was just because it was so humid. We were so sweaty. I mean, it was a little miserable earlier. And I think that made the track conditions a lot more slick. So now as these temperatures come back down, a lot of these cars are going to grip back up. And for some of them, that's going to be the confidence they need to throw it to the wall and go full throttle on commitment.
Trying to figure out what's going on. it looks like they're switching sides. I think Duarte is leading on this.
Yeah, yeah, so looking around. So, yeah, so Duarte is going to lead first. Louis Brass is going to be in the chase position.
Duarte with the green Drift HQ. BMW. Louis Brass out here to straight shred it up. Try to get that close proximity. Maybe we'll get some doors today. Here they are getting locked in, waiting for the lights. You're talking about how Duarte has to get that mentality in that mental space. Earlier when we were talking about his military experience, how it kind of calculates him. As a driver, as someone that's doing anything that they need to lock in, it's kind of like a dead air that you hear, and it's tunnel vision, and you know you're out to just shred or hit that target. And then probably Chelsea Denova makes him laugh in the headset.
And obviously, getting some pointers from Chelsea Denova, he has plenty of experience in the BMW chassis. So I'm sure even when it comes to fine-tuning the car and getting the best performance out of it, I'm sure that's just like riding a bicycle for Chelsea Denova to get back out there and know every single way to get grip out of a BMW. He was rocking an E36 and an E46 and doing the best he could to keep up with some of these giants that were emerging in FD when carbon Kevlar is being introduced and all these other materials and advancements and huge budgets entering FD, and he stayed true to a small team for the longest time. So very familiar with the BMW. Now we're excited to see if that pairing is going to continue to advance in this competition. Let's see it. Duarte leading. And let's see what's going to happen with Louis Brass in the chase. Great job surging on each other. Good proximity as they make themselves around the wall. Duarte staying high on the wall the entire way around, getting to that second outside clip. As they transition, no proximity left. They're both tucking around here. Little bit of door tapping as they make their way out to that other touch and go near the wall. The one last transition across. Excellent, excellent, excellent start to that battle. That was exciting to watch.
Man, going from outer zone 1 to inner clip 1 to outer zone 2, it was straight doors, baby, all the way through to outer zone 3. I love seeing that aggression. Let's see how Duarte gets that feeling out of his system. He's like, all right, this guy just pushed my door in. Let me see if I can push his door in on this first outer zone and keep it on him.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't felt anything since COVID lockdown in 2020, but that brought my spirits up and made me feel alive. So excited to see things move forward with those guys in the future, and this is going to be an exciting second run as well.
Louis Brass in the lead, Duarte in the chase. Man, you hit me in a very painful part of my soul. But here we go. Here are the lights. Louis Brass, that black at E36 coming out here. Nice feint initiation. Here comes Duarte diving into the pocket through outer zone 1. All the way around. Duarte nicely limits the proximity and getting right back into the pocket and inner clip. Diving to outer zone 2. And Duarte is not letting up on this fight. Being rowdy and obnoxious. Right there. Whoa!
Wow, that is exciting. I really hope that goes one more time just so I could see it again. The judges have their hands full with that one, and that's why I'm just so glad to just get to be here and be just another spectator with a microphone and not have to make any of the tough decisions.
Yeah, I guess I don't need this Red Bull anymore after seeing that run with Duarte being real feisty, and as well as Louis being really feisty on the proximity with the door throughout that inner clip. Duarte was on him like brown sugar on Cinnamon Toast Crunch on outer zone 1 going to inner clip 1. Spicy, spicy.
Happy to see it. So I don't know how long it's going to take them to deliberate this one, but definitely I hope these guys could just bring that same pace throughout the entire night. We're doing the seating and we're doing the competition all on the same day, and it's going to go right into the night. Or this event's probably going to run pretty late, excuse me, and I'm thinking that these guys are also driving cars that are durable, that they're going to put up with the punishment. These guys show up to events in these same cars, and they just hot lap, and they run until they run out of rubber or until they get kicked out. So let's see. Hopefully we're going to get an answer from the judges pretty soon here.
And this is just a seating bracket.
And the next one we have up is going to be Leo Alvarado versus Matt Schulman. So 2 cars that I want to say are actually pretty evenly matched. They're both very comfortable. They both moved on. Obviously, Matt Schulman showing up to really make an impression in the competition, but Leo Alvarado as well. He's driven a lot, and we've seen him in that very comfortable in that chassis. The Corvette, it used to be the bright yellow one. If you don't recognize it today, he used to drive a bright yellow one. He used to go to clutch kickers all the time. He used to drive with one of our very own Adam Ginkel. Plenty of times to go and under the Brake Bank name and show up to a bunch of different events. So. This is going to be a really good battle up next, and I think with the returning faces and the new faces, the skill we're going to have this season is just something unlike what we've had the pleasure of having before.
Judges are going back and forth, deliberating on this battle, and they're trying to nitpick on the drone, seeing who is going to be moving on. For the people in the stands, if you think Duarte took that win, I would love to hear your cheers and chants. Come on, root on for your drivers. If you think Lewis took the win, you could also cheer on your drivers.
All right, it looks like Duarte gets the win. Duarte with Drift HQ moving on to the next round of competition. Well deserved.
Fantastic performance from Duarte. At first, I was confused about that color, green. It's starting to grow on me, man.
Oh, so it looks like before we move on to our next battle with Leo Alvarado and Matt Schulman, we're going to be returning to our battle with Colette Davis, where Giuliano Emanuel had to go to the pits to deal with an oil leak. It looks like he's got it under wraps. He's back out there on track, heating up his tires. And to recap what we saw in that battle, Colette Davis led first and got a pretty big lead on the S13. It just created a gap that was very difficult to close. He did the best he could to hang on there. So what's really going to be an interesting thing to pay attention to this round is whether the S13 can just really capitalize on hitting all the zones. And, Colette's got to try and get close, but she's got to not collapse under any kind of pressure to try and perform too closely. Sometimes drivers get a little too aggressive, and it can cause a mess up, and that's all it takes is one small mistake to cause a straighten out or a spin. So anything can happen here, even if in one run it looks like it's already headed one direction. As long as nothing is constituted a complete zero, then anything can happen in the second battle.
And it looks like judges are ready. Colette Davis in the chase. And Giuliano in the lead. That S chassis coming out here. Nice Scandinavian flick into that first outer zone. Missing the first half. Here comes Colette Davis roaring her Corvette to try to dive into the pocket and keep that close proximity on there to clip 1 and outer 2. All the way through. Huge angle from Giuliano. And then a snap into that final outer zone. Colette Davis is just being there and being rude as possible on his door.
Yeah, absolutely aggressive flick coming in. I think that he might have been lacking just a little bit of momentum on that flick because he did come just a little bit off the wall, but such a clean way to get into the corner. I wasn't sure if he was going to hold that angle all the way around, and he was able to keep most of his momentum going. Getting around the corner, Colette doing what she can to kind of get aggressive and get in there without having to put too much at risk. So I think she did a good job kind of calculating the risk of how close she wanted to work on getting to him. And, obviously he's making a couple decisions from the driver's position, knowing that Colette was pretty quick in that previous run, so you could see him do his best to get the momentum up, because I think he understood that if he didn't keep some speed, Colette was going to be right there behind him.
It was like when he came up to the line, I think he knew he had to put out a crazy and real stylish initiation to wow the judges. You were saying before he wasn't fully in the zone. That could be a crucifying point on him on this whole lap, but Colette was just on him. And then gave him the space, like you were also mentioning, and then was able to surge in when she needed to keep that proximity, to not have an inactive chase.
So the judges are deliberating that one, and once again, they've got a lot of work cut out for themselves, because now we've switched our format. Before it was qualifying, where they would just get a score. And I'm really excited about this change in the sport, because now with the seating bracket, we get to get straight to action right away. And it's more exciting for the spectators to watch. I think it's a better test for the drivers. And I also think it's ultimately why they're here. I mean, all these guys are capable of doing solo runs. All these guys, if they're in tandem competition, they're coming here to go against another car. These guys have gotten pretty good at doing runs all by themselves years ago, and they've had plenty of time in practice. In practice, you can get those solo runs out of the way, take in information, try to learn the track. But at this level, it should all be about proving yourself as a skill-worthy driver and doing everything you can to exhibit that. So I think there's nothing wrong with the way that we've changed the seating format. I think there's a lot of people who have differing opinions on it. But ultimately, that's what another thing that I just fell in love with drifting is that it is constantly evolving, constantly changing, and with every rule change, we do see some cons and some pros, and ultimately, I think the sport's going in the right direction.
I think it's just making it more exciting, and it's actually making it more entertaining for the spectators as well. Because some spectators do love the single driver runs for each lap for qualifying. It gets them excited to see how they run. But I know a lot of people enjoy the tandem aspect of competition. And it looks like we got a judge's decision. Colette gets the win and moves on. Beautiful performance from her.
I am very excited to see that. I'm trying not to be as biased as possible just because my cousin is a big highlighter, but absolutely happy to see her moving on. Well deserved. I think she made the right judgment calls. Like I said, I mean, she clearly got ahead of her component and the lead driver in the lead run, pulling a big gap, giving him plenty of work to do. In the chase position, she just needed to play it cool and play it safe. She's got plenty of competition left, so a good, clean way to wrap that up.
A big highlighter?
That's a spirit animal.
Got it.
I try to be as accepting as possible. I mean, these days, you introduce yourself, you ask your name, everyone just wants to know what your star sign is, and I have to say I'm an asparagus.
Jeez. All right, our next battle coming up. You're explaining this Corvette used to be a yellow Corvette.
Yeah, I've seen Leo drive plenty of times. I've also tandem with him personally. I mean, he's gotten very good and consistent with making his car an extension of his body. I think that he's another one of the drivers. We were talking about Alex Puig earlier, and people who have just gotten settled into one chassis and stayed in it long enough to really understand it. And that's such a benefit from a driver's standpoint. If you can keep constant variables, then you can just work on your skill. And a lot of drivers end up, if they switch chassis too much, or they're constantly having issues, or they're upgrading along the way, it can be very difficult to diagnose your driving versus just simply adapting to the car that you're in. So excited to see him get very comfortable, and the same could definitely be said about Matt Schulman. I mean, him driving a 240 and that is 13, he's just very comfortable in it. So that's why I think this could be a pretty good battle, and it's going to get as spicy as these guys really choose as far as how close they want to get this early on in competition.
It just kicked in why you said star sign. Leo.
That's good. I didn't do that on purpose.
Oh, you didn't? All right. All right, here we go. Leo is going to be in the lead. Matt Schulman is going to be in the chase. You got a Corvette coming out here. He was loud and obnoxious out here. Rowdy as it all can be. Leo coming in with a nice, smooth initiation to that first out of the wall. Taps the wall a little too aggressive. Now he's going to be diving in to try to get that first inner clip, but barely touches it. Goes to outer zone 2 all the way through. Here's Leo trying to fill out that outer zone 3 and then snap it back to outer zone 4. And was risky.
Yeah, Leo doing a good job initiating. He got a little too close for comfort to that wall. We saw him touch it and then just was able to make a quick correction to stay in it. He dove down. He stayed a little too shallow from that outside clip. I would have liked to see him kick it out wider, but I do believe part of that is just him trying to find his momentum and get his groove back on the line after making contact with the wall. And Matt Schulman doing an excellent job, I got to say, just reading the situation. You could see him making a couple of adjustments, doing what he needed to do, solely off of just the reactions of what he can see is going on with Leo in his car. So great job making those adjustments, and ultimately, considering there were some mistakes on that run, I think they did a good job hanging with each other.
It's unfortunate Leo had that tap on that wall, but he was able to reel it in and then dive right back into this lap. But we're going to see how he is in the chase. Matt Schulman is going to be in the lead. You have Leo repping the number 44. Matt Schulman repping the number 20. Here we go. Matt Schulman in the lead. Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Matt Schulman just has to finish up this lap. Leo hit that wall pretty hard.
Big hit into the wall for Leo. That was pretty hard. I mean, guys, if you're watching from home, you could probably tell just by looking, but I'll just go ahead and confirm it for you. The walls here are pure concrete. There's nothing that's absorbing any of that hit, so pretty hard hit. I'm sure he's going to feel that at some point. It looks like we're getting the okay as far as him being okay, but just going to look him over when he gets out of the car. It looks like, yeah, trying to make the read on the initiation there. Matt Schulman coming in, doing a quick e-brake, getting back into it. And then I think Leo just had a little bit of a stutter for a moment, and that's all it really takes is just that can cause one quick slip of the wheel, one quick slip of an input on the car. And unfortunately, since this initiation starts so close to the wall, if anything happens, it's going to move you out to it. It's just it's milliseconds before you're making contact.
And I think I see Matt Schulman unbuckling his seatbelt to go check up on Leo. That's a sportsmanlike conduct right there. Love it. That's one thing that with drifting I do enjoy. Everybody comes together. You got paramedics also on scene.
Yeah, so Leo still hasn't gotten out yet, but Matt Schulman getting out of his car. You know, he walked over, now he's walking back to his own car. So I can assume that's good news that he's kind of shaken, you know, but not stirred. He's just sitting in the car for a moment, getting his bearings, and then he'll be right with us. So the unfortunate, we're having a lot of contact getting started already, and it's just a reminder, you know, this is early on in competition, so it's unfortunate if there's anything in competition this early that stops you from participating in the main event. So we will likely cut to a commercial break and then come right back so we can rejoin the action once the car is taken off track.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
same tires we sell, and that's how the technology built into every Bethesda UHP Max tire goes from podium
What a performance.
to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda tires are designed for your journey.
Whether you're building a dedicated track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture top quality billet performance parts that cater to a wide variety of applications, from transmission conversions and custom drive shafts to valve covers. We use only the finest materials and advanced technology to produce the most reliable parts out there in order for you to achieve your goals. If you would like to find out more about our products, feel free to reach out to us at autosportsengineering@gmail.com or check out the website at autosportsengineering.com.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're back on the stream, back to the action, and we are returning on track after, unfortunately, a strong collision from Leo. So we are going to go ahead and see Matt Schulman advance. Leo got out, his car got off track, and he is A-OK. We got a big applause from him from the audience here in the stands. So glad that he's doing all right. The car, unfortunately, does look like it took too much of a beating. It's very unlikely he's going to be able to return to competition this weekend. And now we are going into our next battle.
You got Lewis Lance versus Hayden Williams. Hayden Williams is in the lead. Coming in here and trying to fill out that first out of the game. All the way into this first inner clip, trying to dive in. Here's Lewis Lance being as close proximity as possible. And Hayden Williams misses that first inner clip and only inner clip, but reaches out to outer 2 and outer 3. Lewis Lance with that Zek Nova livery Chevy Corvette.
And Hayden Williams coming out here, doing a good job getting into this car and coming out trying to be competitive. I mean, if you've seen this car before, then you're probably a local and you've been involved in the local scene. This is usually driven by Lee Yearwood, and he's driven it before with us at U.S. Drift Circuit. So this time being piloted by Hayden Williams. He's looking to make his impression here on the series.
Yeah. We're getting some lights up here and trying to get this situated. Round 2 of last year, I was wearing sunglasses at night, not like the song, but it was really bright because I was short. We got Lewis Lance in the lead, Hayden Williams in the chase. Let's see how rowdy he could be in the chase against Lewis Lance. Lewis Lance just has to do a nice clean lap, fill out each zones. I think the spotter is saying, hey, fill out the zones, Be as clean as possible. Try to do a 90-point run or 100-point runs. And we're going to see how they perform out here with Hayden Williams having to do a nice chase and stay in close proximity. Give that pressure to Lewis as a prospect driver.
And here we go. Light goes green. Lewis Lund's in the lead. Let's see if he's going to be as comfortable as he has in the past. A little bit of a gap established on the entry. Lewis Lund's getting high. He could be higher than that. And immediately getting reeled in by Hayden as they make their way around to the second outside zone. We see the flick on the inside as they're both doing good. Hayden doing a good job keeping up. Oh, but a straight in. And Lewis Lund rounds his way out through the rest of the course.
Oh, man.
And Lewis Lund's making his way around. Lewis Lund's loves hooking around on that last corner. So we're probably going to see that from him all night. And Hayden Williams, unfortunately, having some sort of an issue coming across. Now talking to our tech there, Miss Sarah Panico. Originally, she was really big into horses and riding horses, and now she's also got her own car. So she's changed real-life horses for horsepower, and now she's out here helping with U.S. Drift Circuit.
Okay.
All right, and that confirms it. So we just got word from the judges. Lewis Lund gets the win. Lewis Lund gets the win and is moving on. And Hayden Williams, unfortunately, just unable to do anything about the complete shutdown at the end of that run. So Lewis Lund having a domineering start so far, and definitely saying hello and welcome to anyone who's joining us for the first time this season, and a reminder of why he won last season for anyone who's a familiar face.
Can you plug that in the power strip right there for me? I don't want to dive over. It's right there. Thank you, brother.
And to keep up with the rest of the action, guys, everyone make sure that you are connected to U.S. Drift Circuit on all of our social media. We've got an Instagram page, a Facebook page, and on Instagram, a lot of things get reposted. You can see all the teams, and it's a real easy way to get connected with any of the drivers that you see, whether in person or on the stream. So that's at U.S. Drift Circuit on Instagram, and there's also a separate page for the Pro-Am series. And that's USDC Pro-Am.
Now we're going to be seeing Alex Puig repping the number 612 and Colette Davis repping 17. Some of these guys, I know we're talking about like FD drivers have their chosen numbers just class acts and what they personalize with. I wonder why these two chose their numbers, 612 and 17. Maybe it was a random generator, ChatGPT.
And so Alex Puig, we've seen him do it really well in practice. Some of the runs we've seen so far in competition haven't quite matched or led up to what we saw out of him earlier. Like we were talking about with the track conditions, with it getting cooler, there is a little bit more grip. So if Alex Puig is making adjustments to that, now he's at least gotten a taste of that on the previous run. I'm interested to see how he'll do up against Colette with clearly a quick car, but I think both of them have and this could go to either one of them.
Yeah, and this is just a seeding bracket. And this is getting them situated for the actual top 32 bracket that we're going to see in the real competition later. But having a high position in the seeding bracket gets you situated in a better spot on the top 32 if you're unfamiliar with the Formula Drift standards.
All right, so Colette Davis doing a pretty good job last time. Did a good job making the judgment decisions, judgment calls while driving. Alex Puig, like I said, looking to capitalize on familiarity he's built earlier on in the day on this track. And, of course, it's getting darker, and that's also going to affect probably some of the confidence coming into some of these corners. We did, after all, just have a pretty nasty impact with the wall from Leo, and now as it gets darker, these drivers are going to need to put a little bit more faith in their muscle memory and not let any of their eyes play any tricks on them. So here we go. Light is green. Colette Davis in the lead. Alex Puig in the chase. Colette rocketing to that first corner, looking to get up on the wall. Does a pretty good job getting high on the bank. Alex looking to play catch-up, trying to take a mid-line and cut in where he can. And across the line, I mean, Colette Davis coming out of that chicane was just absolutely a rocket coming to the first corner, and definitely a disadvantage when Alex Puig kind of has to come into the first corner already multiple car lengths behind. So it's definitely a little bit of a drag race here to the first corner, and then after that, Colette Davis's car is pretty just dialed in. So Alex on this next run is going to really need to capitalize because there was definitely a gap that was pretty hard, and Alex Puig was doing everything he could to reel her in, but unfortunately I think it just wasn't enough by the end of the run.
And it's not that Alex doesn't have enough car to keep that proximity. It's just with Colette Davis she's been consistent the whole day with her runs and being able to kind of dial in everything. Yeah, she had a couple runs yesterday with the rain, but I think that gave her more confidence going into today when it's dry, and she's not even phased if it's going to rain or stay dry. So here we go. Colette Davis in the chase. Alex Puig, Pandemonium in the lead. Colette Davis coming in, trying to dive into the pocket in her first out of zone. But Alex is just being rowdy going into the inner clip 1 and punting that inner clip 1, diving out to outer zone 2 and 3. And Colette Davis is just filling out each zone and keeping that proximity. These guys are having fun.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. I mean, Alex Puig, clearly a very capable driver, very comfortable in his car. Coming into this corner, I mean, Colette was kind of waiting for him to initiate, trying to see what he was going to do, and then, and then from that point, I think Alex understood it's all on the line in this run. So we'll have to let the judges go ahead and take a look at it. And we've got a lot of strong supporters down here. I mean, a lot of these teams have got their family with them. They've got their friends with them. It's really awesome because it's not just the drivers that are familiar faces. It's also the crew that comes down with them. So with Colette and with Alex, I mean, you get both of that coming around the course. Colette now riding with the Drift HQ family. Every single person in that pit area has been a long-term supporter of the drifting scene down here. And Alex Puig as well, man. He's always got a happy smile on his face. And he's getting a good amount of tracks under his belt now. Drifting in Florida is kind of getting a few more venues. And he's a regular attendee at Fuel Fest down in West Palm Beach for that big Drift Expo. He's drifted Sebring, PBIR before it closed. I mean, just plenty of track exposure. So it's nice because that creates adaptability at a track like this.
Yeah, and it looks like Colette Davis gets the win and moves on. And Alex, even though he is knocked out, you're also going to see him later on tonight. It's just a seating bracket. It's so crazy that we were talking earlier how drifting evolves. And sometimes when you see your driver lose, you're like, oh, man, we're not going to see him. But you're actually going to see him compete today. And you see some guys up there in the spotter's booth. And just because their driver is not up in the or on the course or getting ready to drive in the seating bracket doesn't mean they aren't taking notes. The drivers we're going to see is going to be Louis Lance versus Colette Davis in this battle. And then Duarte won the previous battle, so he's just waiting for his competitor.
Yeah, so it looks like Duarte is going to be going against Matt Schulman once he comes back out on track. And as you just mentioned, Louis Lunds and Colette. It's going to be an awesome Corvette-on-Corvette battle with Louis Lunds, of course, given that, once again, I think we just got to start calling Louis Lunds the welcoming committee at this point because he's going against people and just kind of showing them, hey, listen, this is the gate of passage. And I think it's excellent because, as we've mentioned before, Pro-Am is really just a stage to improve yourself. Some drivers, they go looking across the country for the easiest Pro-Am series they can enter to try and get their license, and I highly discourage that because when you come in and you look to get your license, you got to understand that the next level is just going to be so much more fierce. You have to be really prepared for what you're going to go into because ideally, when you enter, you want to go into Pro 2 with the same momentum you felt leaving Pro-Am.
Yeah. And with Road Atlanta being the first track, I was able to talk to Louis a little bit how he felt. He's like, I need to run that track a lot of times, and I always brought hey, Sim, we can help you out. He wants to do it, but it seems like he's doing a lot more road trips throughout the year, so he could get more seat time in his car, so he could get comfortable no matter what situation it's in.
Yeah, and even just toying around. I mean, like we saw him on the Adam LZ compound, just drifting around just recently, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's like a racetrack. I mean, when when you think about the Lake Cam block and how he was originally just practicing rallying, it was just on areas like landing strips and airports in the middle of nowhere. So it's really building familiarity with your chassis that comes first. You can do a sim and you can do a lot of local events, but it's really what you're connecting with your car and all that seat time. And I think Lewis Lunds is just we've seen him evolve while he's been a part of the series with us over the years. And I think he's definitely getting there. I think when he goes to Prospect to compete, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and especially with going to Englishtown. Actually, 2 of the judges are going to be competing in Englishtown, and we have, I think there might be one of them is actually using this as notes for when he goes to compete against them if they end up doing. But Englishtown does have some unique aspects of it, how it has that little divot and outer zone too, but also with this track being unique and learning the capabilities of each car, it sets them up in a way that I'm not afraid to try new things. So I got a message from Louis Lons earlier while he was waiting, and while we were on commercial break, I'm like, hey, are you messaging me while you're waiting? He's like, yeah, I get lonely over here. So.
Oh, he messages you?
Yeah.
How often does that happen?
Oh, not that often. He doesn't like me too much.
Oh, he doesn't really message me. I was gonna be really petty for a second, 'cause, I try to get his attention, but I don't know.
No, you gotta. So this is the thing. We have this running thing. Do you think taking steps at Disney counts as cardio?
That's your icebreaker?
Yes.
You went to him with that as your icebreaker?
Yes.
There's got to be something better than that.
I did 20,000 steps at Disney with my kid.
All right, we are both wanting to be Louis Lunds' friend.
Yes.
If someone who's here knows a great icebreaker conversation, come let us know later, because we know he's going to blow up, and we want to be a part of it. We want to be part of the convoy, the posse, and
I'm bringing a sign to Englishtown. Disney counts. No, he's a really good. He's very helpful with the whole community, especially bringing the Zeknova brand to Florida and different states, and building that brand, having that as the title sponsor, and giving everybody reliable tires. But the biggest thing is with Kenda providing the tires on this. Now it's a clash with certain drivers as well. Like we have John Temple and a bunch of other drivers that are running Kenda tires.
Yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned the whole marketability, and we have some time to kill here. So one of the things I got to say I really like to see drivers doing in the modern day is that it's not just about the drive. You got to obviously be a good driver on the competition stage, but it really is about how you market yourself. A lot of these brands are looking for people to get better at promoting their brand, and a lot of times, drivers have to remember that these sponsors are looking through a different lens. They like the fact you're a good driver, but they also want to make sure you're going to represent their brand. And I've enjoyed watching this. I think the Taxi Garage guys are a great group to watch when it comes to the evolution, because Nick Ward and Ryan Kaufman, who are at every event, used to just drive, and now they have their own company, and they've had to learn how to market. And just the other day, I saw Ryan Kaufman with a K&N plug, and he is a world-class spokesman on Instagram now. He is talking about his K&N filters. He's pushing the product. He's got a following. They're posting entertaining content. So these drivers that go above and beyond to really push the sponsors supporting them, I mean, they do an excellent job, and it does more than just help their program. It's overall super healthy for the sport. It lets everyone, the whole sport, get a spotlight.
And you talk even with like the Taxi Garage guys like that are out here. Take it, Nick Ward is not in his Taxi Garage S chassis, but you have the guys out here just shredding tires, and everybody has their unique style. Those two guys, when they drive, you literally can tell they're having fun every time they're driving.
And the versatility for those guys is incredible. I mean, when it comes to the content, they go to the Drift Mansion. They're over there tearing it up right after the renovations. An extra, tarmac's been put down. They just did an amazing thing with the Veterans Trust, which the U.S. Drift Circuit was involved in also. And again, excellent reason to follow the U.S. Drift Circuit on Instagram, because they do a lot of community outreach events. This was one with the Veterans Trust where they got to go up north, and they got to do a bunch of just driving around the barracks and around an airstrip for a lot of our soldiers, and give them a chance to kind of get close enough and personal with something that's and just a lot of fun to be a part of.
That aspect in itself, like, I fell in love with drifting before I joined the military, and then when they told me about that they're going up there, that it just gave me chills, and seeing what they could do and have fun, and especially as U.S. Drift Circuit. Being able to drift and an Apache goes overhead of you, Like that's as much American you can feel.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
The same tires we sell, and that's how the technology built into every Bethesda UHP Max tire goes from podium
What a performance.
to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda tires are designed for your journey.
Whether you're building a dedicated track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture top quality billet performance parts that cater to a wide variety of applications, from transmission conversions and custom drive shafts to valve covers. We use only the finest materials and advanced technology to produce the most reliable parts out there in order for you to achieve your goals. If you would like to find out more about our products, feel free to reach out to us at autosportsengineering@gmail.com or check out the website at autosportsengineering.com.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
2 Corvettes in the burnout box. Scrubbing their tires, getting ready. Colette Davis is coming out here shredding from start to finish. In the beginning, from yesterday, she was running it on a rainy track, and now it's all cool, calm, collective. Just needs her headlights on and get locked in and just straight send it.
And there we go. We heard that transmission lock in all the way from over here. Colette Davis in the lead. Lewis Lund's in the chase. She's trying to get the launch off. She knows Lewis Lund is quick. She comes all the way up on this bank. Lewis Lund's looking to hunt her down.
Wow. That was the first time I've ever seen Lewis Lund get gapped.
Yeah, that was really quick. I mean, we saw Colette Davis off the line. I think she knows that, you know, if she can establish a little bit of a gap right off the gate, that is going to help her a lot. But even then, once she was into the drift, it was very difficult for Lewis Lund to close that gap.
Oh, my goodness. Now we have Colette coming in. She's going to be in the chase. Winner moves on to battle against Duarte. Lewis Lund's in the blue Chevy Corvette Zec Nova title sponsor. Colette in the zebra stripe gum Corvette.
And here we go. Judges are ready for the next part of this battle. And Lewis Lund's right now, I'm sure he's talking to his spotter. I'll remember all these drivers today. They're equipped with spotters to give them feedback. And on the fly, there's only so much feedback you can give both these drivers. They both have plenty of experience. So now he knows he needs to make it count as he goes off the line. Shifting up to the wall. Colette doing a great job working on that proximity. Lewis Lund's trying to get some of that speed out of the car to make his way around that inside clip. Getting up on the wall. Colette Davis shadowing Lewis Lund as they make their way across the line.
Now I realize why I wear Oakley safety glasses, man. You smoke show just straight up dusted me. To kind of close my eyes as he was coming past outer zone 1, but then he dived into inner clip 1. It was a very, very exciting battle.
And the judges have already deliberated as they are pulling up. Colette Davis gets the win. Colette Davis moving on to the next round of the seating bracket, and welcoming committee pulling off the track. And I'm sure that's going to be a big confidence boost for Colette Davis, coming off track knowing that she took out last season's champion in the seating bracket.
It's going to be a very exciting season with her going through each round. I'm excited to see the story develop.
Yeah, this is incredible. I think Colette Davis is cooking.
There's a pun in there, wasn't it?
I'm trying to work on this delivery thing, man.
Yeah.
These new phrases, I'm working on it.
I think should keep the clutch kicking.
No, I'm locked in.
We're going to have Colette Davis get new tires fueled up, and we'll go to commercial break. Sounds good?
Yeah, let's go to a quick commercial break, and then when we return, we should have our final battle of the seating bracket before we get into the main event for tonight, and that's going to be yet another testament for Colette Davis. That will be Duarte Vienna that she has to go against next. So excited for that battle, and we'll be right to it when we come back.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
Duarte is going to be in the chase. This is the final battle for the seating bracket to see who gets the first spot. We're waiting for the lights from the track member. Track crew is getting set it. Colette Davis is getting settled and trying not to be as iced, waiting for the lights to come on. And then we're going to be going into the top 32 battle.
And we're likely going to have to get right into it. We had a delay earlier because of lightning that delayed the start of our seating bracket competition. And, of course, this one has taken a little while because we've also had some crashes. Unfortunately, I think we've had about 3 really hard hits. We had Leo, we had Henry, and then I believe we had one more. But
there was a little boop with Lewis.
Oh, that's all it was.
Yeah,
so,
it was a little boop.
So, yeah, I mean, getting into the main competition, it's interesting because that's what we have happening here, and this is technically our new form of qualifying. And then the main competition, there's going to be even more pressure to perform.
And now we have Colette Davis in the lead. Duarte in the chase. This is a Drift HQ battle here. Colette Davis coming in with that Chevy Corvette, lock it in like a slot car in outer zone 1, all the way through Queens' alley. Duarte is losing proximity and trying to gain it on that inner clip and dive into the pocket of Colette, but Colette is just filling out his zone, possibly misses outer zone 3, but fills out outer zone 4.
Colette is just absolutely exercising the nimbleness of that Corvette, working it through the course like a gazelle.
A gazelle?
A gazelle.
Why not a zebra?
Oh, you did start the whole zebra. You know
Yeah,
what? I didn't mean that. That
yeah.
kind of like seems like I was competing with what you were starting with
Yeah.
a zebra thing. I'm sorry. I didn't do that. I didn't mean that. On purpose.
Here we go. Colette Davis in the chase. Duarte in the lead. Locking in, getting ready. And here we go. Duarte in that BMW, getting a nice feint initiation, going all the way to that outer wall, riding that outer wall. That's about impossible. Colette Davis is trying to keep that proximity, but losing it a little bit on that first outer zone, but dives into the inner clip 1 and keeps hold of Duarte into the final outer zone. Beautiful performance from both drivers from Drift HQ. Wow.
Excellent driving for both of them. I mean, Duarte, very capable. We know what he's capable of, and he went ahead and demonstrated it right there. And Colette, I mean, we haven't seen a demonstration like that out of her before. She's clearly stepping up her driving. So excited to see what the judges are going to take of this one. I could see either one of them taking it. I mean, right there, Colette was just chasing after it, though. I think it's going to come down to a lot more of, you know, what lines the drivers were taking. The proximity seemed like it was a little bit more there from Colette chasing after Duarte. But
It
looks like there, Colette getting the win. And that is your
Wow.
#1 seed going into our main competition.
She's out there being rowdy. But now it just seems like she's just dialed in, ready, locked, loaded, and ready to shoot down any competition.
Yeah, I mean, she's performing like a Wonder Woman. Not even that that uncanny. She even drove. I mean, a lot of driving experience. She drove the actual Wonder Woman monster truck at one point for Monster Jam. She's got a lot of diverse background for driving. She's done a lot of actual racing, road racing. She even did a little bit of global rallycross. So, I mean, ultimately, she's got the driver's pedigree, and I think now we're finally starting to see it come to fruition.
Yeah, it's just all seat time.
All right, so that makes the end of our seating bracket, and we're going to go ahead and take another break, and when we come back, we will be here for the main event and the starting of our we're
There's
gonna take a
no
quick
better
commercial
way
break,
to
and when we
test
come
your
back,
tires
which will
than
be very
on the
shortly.
racetrack. That's why at Kenda Tires, we compete with the same tires we sell. And that's how the technology built into every Bethesda UHP Max tire goes from podium
What a performance.
to pavement. Whether you're a professional driver chasing podiums or a grassroots enthusiast looking for weekend excitement, Kenda Tires are designed for your journey.
Whether you're building a dedicated track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture top quality billet performance parts that cater to a wide variety of applications, from transmission conversions and custom drive shafts to valve covers. We use only the finest materials and advanced technology to produce the most reliable parts out there in order for you to achieve your goals. If you would like to find out more about our products, feel free to reach out to us at autosportsengineering@gmail.com or check out the website at autosportsengineering.com.
Link is the engine management solution for champions the world over. We know what it takes to win, pushing boundaries, performing under pressure, and having the best people on your team. Our tech support are performance specialists, available 24 hours and ready to talk one-on-one about your winning formula. Link ECU, the performance, reliability, and power to get to the podium.
If you're building a track car or a daily driver, Autosports Engineering has got you covered. We manufacture some of the best billet performance parts in the market today, from transmission conversions to custom carbon drive shafts and drive shaft adapters. We use only the highest quality materials and equipment to ensure that our parts are not only strong, but also the finest quality. Whether you're looking to improve your vehicle's performance, reliability, or durability, Autosports Engineering has the perfect solution for you.
All right, we are back. We're at the top 32 of the first round of U.S. Drift Circuit. We just witnessed the seeding bracket earlier, and Colette Davis got the win throughout that whole bracket. And now we're getting ready for our next battle, Willie Espinosa versus Luis Braz. Willie Espinosa is in that RX-7. We're going to get them in the burnout pit. The winner of this will move on to battle Ryan Acevedo. We were talking about him earlier, how he is a definite animal on the drifting community when it's any track he goes to. I've seen him at OSW, previous rounds of U.S. Drift Circuit, and even at some bashes out here. But now we got Willie Espinosa in the King's Performance RX-7. Guys are scrubbing out the tires, getting ready. Trying to lock in. we go. We got our drivers lined up. Willie Espinosa is running the 247 number, and Luis Braz is a 99. Oh, looks like there was a drone down. We're having a cold track real quick. We're good. Here we go. We got some technical difficulties with the drone.